Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons, and we're going to talk about the second most important movie in 2023 to every Dungeon Master content, and that is No Hard Feelings. All right, so No Hard Feelings 2023 movie, we're going to have a robust conversation about the film, about Jennifer Lawrence's 2023 No Hard Feelings. It is the second most important movie to every single Dungeon Master period. End of sentence. Of course, the first most important in 2023 was Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves. Every Dungeon Master needs to see that. And every Dungeon Master needs to see No Hard Feelings. And the reason why is it does what we do. It changes society, right? Like that's, and to me, I'm not saying that. That is what Joe Manganiello said on D&D Direct, right? Like that he was having elevated conversations with people who had transformed their lives with Dungeons & Dragons and then correspondingly, we're changing the cultures and the civilizations, the societies they live in. Astounding, right? Like D&D is a tool to change society. Like Joe Manganiello said that flat out in the middle of a D&D Direct, okay? Not me just saying it anymore, in my humble opinion. All right. So we got to get into this. Let's not forget, okay, for every Dungeon Master, right? We have Dungeon Masters because of the structure of the game, because it's the way it's been built for literally decades. It is, every Dungeon Master includes Dungeon Masters who are 12 to 17. But this is a rated R movie. So it is for you when you're 18, right? So don't see this beforehand, but wait until you're 18 and then go see this, right? So this is every Dungeon Master content. All right, so truly astounding. What I want to talk about today is, as a Dungeon Master, do you respect your shy, introverted players and not pull them out, or do you pull them out? Right? Like, what is respectful? What is correct? What is right? Right? And I think Jennifer Lawrence's morality play, disguised as a raunchy rated R comedy, it's not even remotely a raunchy rated R comedy. And like, if you watch reviews, people were like, I got gypped, where's my, I paid my money, I didn't get what I was asking for, or and like, it's really a morality play. The whole movie shouts, be lawful good, chaos is bad is bad, and neutrality is indecisiveness, be lawful good. The whole movie screams at every single, like, the entire movie is like, be a good person, right? Like, and if you're effing, you ain't a good person. That is the message of the movie. They're like, you being with another person is the most precious, intimate thing you can have. If you give it away for a free, you're a bad person. That's this. It's like a straight up evangelical Christian message in the middle of a raunchy rated R comedy. Now, why does that matter? Because nobody coming to evangelical churches. Our churches are tombs, right? But 1 million people saw this on week 1. And when this drops on digital, everybody on the planet is going to watch this film. I'll tell you that right now, right? Like, so this is going to do more to say, hey, effing sucks, and has been a burning platform for everybody. And the modern sexual template sucks, and it was a lie sold to women and men, and it has destroyed both, right? So let's get back to treating a physical intimacy as something precious, right? Christians treat it as sacred. Like Jennifer Lawrence doesn't understand that. She doesn't understand her sacredness, right? She's not an evangelical Christian, right? But she's a wife and a mother, right? And that's why she just used a raunchy rated R comedy to say what every evangelical Christian pastor is screaming from the top of their lungs. If you F on the second date, you're doomed. And that's that's the entire message of this film. It is absolutely astounding, right? But there's something more in the movie, right? It's exactly what Dungeons & Dragons is. Dungeons & Dragons is a disguised human improvement engine, right? And a human flourishment engine, right? And No Hard Feelings is it's disguised as a raunchy rated R comedy. It is the most Sunday school message you have ever heard about effing, right? And the doom it will bring to your life, right? That what you really want is what she literally did. Marry someone and have a kid, and then understand that this act is completely precious and cannot be given away freely, right? Like, which is astounding. Like, so I think I'm just so shocked how, like, Gary did it in 1974. Jennifer Lawrence is doing it in 2023. Just tricking the whole world into. And Gary did it at a much broader level. He's like, hey, what alignment are you? That's the point of Dungeons & Dragons. That is the most important thing that happens in Dungeons & Dragons, is you get to the character sheet, and it says, what are you? Are you good or evil? Right? And they stripped it out. They're stripping it out right now out of Pathfinder and Tales of Valiance, which guarantees both games will suck, because the heart of it is out, which means no blood flows through either of those creatures. They are stillborn. Both of those games will be stillborn and will be shocked when the only people who show up are murder hobos for their games. Don't be shocked. You should have known, right? Woo! Very, very interesting, right? So you have got to see No Hard Feelings, right? I think a lot of people are gonna. This is gonna slip by a few people until it's digital, and it will still slip by after digital, because you can't see a movie outside of a theater. If you think you are seeing a movie when you watch it on a small screen, you're wrong, right? You suck. You don't know art, and you do not open your flapping maw about your opinion about a movie you saw on a small screen. You never saw that film, okay? You didn't go to a temple of attention and give your attention to it. Your cat pawed away the remote and you missed some lines, right? Like, and somebody walked in front of the screen, and you don't, and because you're not in a room that George Lucas guaranteed no light would flood into by literally changing the structure of theaters, right? Like, so it's the whole thing. All right, let's get there, right? No Hard Feelings has this brilliant scene, right? And Jennifer Lawrence, her character's name is Maddie, is trying to kind of get Percy to come out of his shell, right? That's what his parents asked for him to get. They said, do this terrible thing that we should have no business talking about, but the point is to get him to come out of his shell. And we know if you do this thing, he'll come out of his shell. They were wrong. He needed somebody real to engage with him. Maddie is not a real person. She's a monster human. When she encounters Percy, she remembers the good person in her, and she starts to excavate that person. It's a truly profound film, right? It's a lawful good person dragging a chaotic evil person to chaotic neutral by the end of the film. That's what the film is about, okay? And what's really astounding is it's really, really wild. So check this out. So what you get is there's a scene where Maddie is out and they're actually going on prom, right? Both of them missed their prom, okay? And so they're recreating prom, and they get a stretch limo, and they get corsages, dresses, the whole nine, right? It's a very nice night. And it's a very respectful night. It's and they're treating each other with respect. And then Maddie says they're at a restaurant, and she says, and there's an open piano, and anybody can get up and go play. And she was told by Percy's parents that he is a tremendous, like, top-tier musician who will not play for anyone because he feels that his art is too personal and he can't share it with anyone. But he works very hard on his music. And so she threatens him. She literally threatens him and gets him to play, right? She pushes him, right? And she never does what she threatened, but she did threaten him, right? So, and then he goes up and he plays Hall & Oates' Man-Eater. And the reason he plays it is he's like, I don't like this, song because it's scary and it scared me when I was a child. And she's like, you don't really know what this song is about. You need to listen to it again, right? And when he listens to it again, he hears the line. The beauty is there, but the beast is in the heart, right? And Percy's realizing, this woman is coming to him to take something that's precious and intimate, right? And to devalue it. She's trying to destroy him, right? But the exact opposite occurs, right? He pulls her out of chaotic evil and pulls her to chaotic neutral, right? And that's where she is at the end of the movie. And I think her journey is to be chaotic good, right? And I'm ready for the sequel, man. I want a sequel to No Hard Feelings. Interested to believe there's nonsense that gets sequels nowadays. That, you know, Insidious is getting its like 4th sequel. So the idea that No Hard Feelings shouldn't get it, like Joker is the like Joker, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, that should not have a sequel. It's getting a sequel. I want a sequel to No Hard Feelings, right? So let's see the end of this character's journey. So what really is astounding, right, is you reach this point, and it's absolutely incredible. It's just so incredible, where she gets him to play this piano, and he plays Maneater, and you have never heard this song. And I actually have been doing this in my small group, in my church, small group at church. We added a segment in my small group at church where we read a song that we sang the day before, and it is profound, right? Because when you strip out all the music, when you strip out 300 other voices and just one person is reading the song lyrics in the room, it hits different, right? And you can hear all the wisdom of the song. And Maneater by Hall & Oates is a truly poignant, profound song, right? And you see that Percy is this brilliant musician, and she sees Percy for the first time as a brilliant, kind, and talented person. She sees him for the first time through music. And here we can see, you know, his heart is barred. He has a barred heart, right? And who is Maddie? Well, Maddie's a nightmare, like literally a horse with a burning mane, right? And it's just so astounding, and it tells me, if you have somebody who you think is an incredible actor, who you think is a philosopher king or a philosopher queen at your table, but they're keeping it in, right? You got to pull it out. You got to play. The Dungeons and Dragons table is the place to pull people out. They chose to sit there. They want to be more. Change them. Pull them out. Don't do what Maddie did. Do not threaten people, right? Find a different path, and you can, because you are a dungeon master. You are not a normal human being. You are manifold sentient. You speak with 1,000 mouths. You feel with 1,000 hearts, and you think with 1,000 minds. You have sensations, memory, and emotions, entire sets of them that most people will never feel, right? You can find a good path to pull them forward and say, no drawer novels, no songs that only live in your heart and your mind. Give it, be it, do it, arrive. Do not remain mummified. And that's the point, I think, at our Dungeons and Dragons tables. We do not allow people to be lost in themselves, right? And Maddie, she did it the wrong way, but she would not allow Percy to remain within himself, and she pulled him out. You have got to see this movie if you are a Dungeon Master, because this movie does what you're supposed to be doing, what Gary called you to, in my humble opinion. Every single word of that is my humble opinion. What's important is when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.